Keziah with All in the Cards, coming to do your shadow work check-in video. Well, not check-in, but your shadow work video, okay? So the shadow work video today, family, because I've been having to do my shadow work as well. I did some, I think it was yesterday or the day before yesterday, and it was, you know, action and reaction, and what was my other one? I don't know. It was the number 5, which was about change, and I am going through a lot of changes myself, right? Which I see that the collective is as well. You know, with doing the readings, and I'm able to look in the cards, and you know, just looking, seeing exactly what's going on. So a lot of people are also going through a lot of headache and havoc and trauma and depression and anxiety at this time. Of course, it comes at this time of the year as well. For a lot of us, we're grieving the people that, you know, have passed on, or either we're grieving about, you know, just life situations and all, right? And so sometimes at this time of the year, you do feel down, you do get down. That is all human nature, right? Sometimes we are all in our feelings, and it's okay, okay? I want you to know it's okay. It's okay to feel that. It's okay to go through that. That's a human experience, right? And anyone who tells you that's wrong for you to do that, you know, you need to be far away from those people, because they feel it too, right? So that's them fronting or acting like, you know, that it's something wrong with going through life feelings and changes and things like that, and sometimes not even knowing which way to go or how to feel about the situations, you know what I'm saying, that could be going on in your life. Sometimes it just is that, family, right? It's just that, you know, it's not anything else, you know. And sometimes we don't know how to deal with it. Okay, so that's why I started doing my shadow work anyway, not only because it is something that you need to do, period, in reference of reflecting, but it's also a way of relieving those emotions that you could be going through, okay? And when I say that, because, you know, I write my stuff down, which I hope you do too, and I also I actually, you know, get it out when I'm talking to you guys too, through the shadow work videos and through my research, right, on those feelings, looking at my chart, right? All these things incorporate you actually reflecting on yourself, of who you are and why you're feeling that way and why you're going through these things, right? And so take time and do that. Take time and do that, because some of us have time for everything else, but we don't take time for who? Us. And so with these shadow work videos, I know many people don't watch them, and that's okay too, right? My page isn't monetized or anything like that. I do it from the heart. I expect nothing back, and that's the way everyone should feel, right? I don't have to have, I mean, you know, I'm you know, maybe in my previous life it probably was like that, but in this life I'm all about, you know, just trying to help someone else. That's a part of my soul purpose. My soul mission is to be a healer, to help someone through my words, through my voice, through my actions, right? And in reference of doing that, that's why I created my channel, All in the Cards, and it's through the divination of cards. Even though I can do several other ways of divination, and I've showed that on my Patreon, right? And I'm going to show more as well. But I just want you guys to understand that this is a healing process when you do your shadow work, and a part of this is it'll never end, family. You'll always have life situations that can affect you in some type of way, and you will always need to consider healing, right? All the time. It doesn't stop. Someone doesn't just get healed and it's over, okay? Because something else in life is going to come at you, and then you're going to have to step back and realize, right? It's kind of like looking back. Sometimes you got to go backwards to move forward, right? Sometimes, right? Even though that it's not going to feel good. I'm sorry, it's just not. You know, it's no way to put shadow work in a feel good way. I'm sorry, you know? And so sometimes you guys are really going to have to, it's not sometimes, all the time, you should be, but of course people don't want to feel that uncomfortable feeling. So people don't want to face themselves, even though what I don't understand, if you can't face yourself with reflection of your shadow work, how can you face others? How can you want something outside of yourself when you won't even go within? I really don't understand it. But anyways, we're going to go ahead and get into, because I tell you guys this every video. I know you're probably sick of me saying it, but I'm sorry, family. I have to, you know, say what Spirit wants and the ancestors want me to say to you guys, right? So, you know, I'm getting back to using my shadow work oracle deck, which I love. I love this deck. This is one of my favorite shadow work decks. We're going to pull some from the inner child healing, because these I feel like are very important for you to reflect, right? And then, of course, our favorite, the shadow and the light. I think I have one more of these left, right? I have one more left on allinthecards.com if you want to go over there, right? And get this. So let's start with shadow and light first. And let's see what the exercise is, or what Spirit wants us to do in reference of our exercise based off of this shadow work video. Hopefully you guys are, you know, willing to start tapping in and doing your own shadow work, right? Because these videos are just a nudge or a push so you can start reflecting and doing your own shadow work, family. Okay, hopefully, you know, if you see this, if this is your first time here on my channel and the first one you've seen is shadow work, this is not by mistake, and welcome. I appreciate you for allowing me to come in and read and help you to get to your ascension, all right? Your highest self, to be able to tap in with your highest self versus all of the low vibrational energy that is around us in this day-to-day world, right? So I welcome you. And if this is not your first shadow work video with me, you already know what it is, right? And I see you, okay? I'm glad you're here again and doing what's best to serve you, right? Serve your highest good, because you care for yourself, and not just yourself, but for others. Because self-care is what? The first love and the first care you should be doing. And this is a part of self-care. This is a part of self-love, is doing your shadow work, when you can tap in with self and really sit with yourself and say, you know what, why did I do that? Why did I feel that way? You know, and what is it that I can change about me that can make me decide to not have that happen again in my life? Or what is it that I can change with me that can help me to not make someone else feel a certain way, right? Because sometimes we have to look at ourselves and realize that we were the problem, not someone else, right? Because we have a lot of blame, pointing the finger when we really should be pointing at ourselves, okay? Let's see what our message is today out of the shadow and light for the collective, Spirit, around the shadow work that is needed at this time. Based off of whoever is to see this message, Spirit, give them a message through the cards in reference. Thank you, Spirit. Okay, so we have one to fall out, which is wonderful. Self-doubt and hope. This is the one that I had. Okay, so that's on the bottom of the deck for the collective. So it also rains back to me. But I did my shadow work on that earlier. I think it was Monday. Because Mondays, I always do my shadow work on the day that I was born. Okay, I do a lot of work on the day that I was born. And I learned that from a priestess. Okay, so, all right. Rejection and maturing. I think we got this one before, the number 13. A lot of us are getting rejected and we have to mature. That's what Spirit wants us to know. Rejection is protection. That saying has been going around a lot lately because I've been hearing it in multiple different places. So I feel like a lot of people are dealing with rejection in a lot of ways. Okay? You may be rejected in love. You may have been rejected by a job. You may have been rejected by, you know, your parents. You might be rejected by some friends, you know. There's some type of rejection energy in the, you know, right now. And Spirit is giving it to us again, the number 13. Number 13 comes down to the number 4, which is about stability. I don't know, but this face here that looks angry about the rejection always reminds me of a face that looks like Rihanna. For some reason, I don't know. It's like angry Rihanna. But then on this side is the maturity. yeah, you may be getting rejected and maybe a little angry within inside because it has something to do with your stability or your security, family. And this is just me intuitively picking up on the energy off of this card. A lot of it is based off of our solar plexus, okay? Because the card is yellow. Solar plexus is yellow. Solar plexus is about our confidence. It's about our acceptance, right? It's about inner peace. It's the third chakra. It's about our personal power, right? And knowing even if we get knocked down and rejected, that we are still standing and able to get back up with maturity, that is what you possess and understand. That's also growth. So maturing is about growth. How do you display your growth with rejection? Do you understand rejection is protection by your spirit team, the Most High? In most situations, that's what it is, because you feel that you have to have or you have to go after that thing, but it's spirit and your ancestors and the Most High directing you and saying, no, I need for you to go this way. It may not feel good all the time. Most of the time, it won't feel good unless you truly, truly, truly understand that it's about you maturing and going to a different level or a different direction. Okay? So I definitely feel this is definitely about us trusting and accepting our gut feeling in most cases, like with our solar plexus. Look at that yellow of the card, right? And understanding your self-worth, right? And being an acceptance of what it is that you're being rejected from. With the solar plexus energy, you know, that's that emotional energy that we feel today. And is it for you? We got the King of Cups in reverse, which is about your emotions being out of control right now. You don't have any control over your emotions, and that's this. Because you're upset about the situations that you could be going through, the rejection in reference of the energy that is here. Remember, the planetary alignment plays a huge part in this. But it also is in reference of you having aligned chakras, right? This is when the alignment, the balancing of your chakra comes into play. And solar plexus is definitely sticking out. Solar plexus is also attached to your stomach, your pancreas, which your stomach holds another form of your gut feeling, your intuition, your intuitive sense is in your gut. It holds a lot of emotion in your stomach. That's why when you get, you know, whatever, it's like stomach butterflies, and when you get nervous or when you get anxiety or when you feel those butterflies or you feel your stomach start to turn when certain things are going wrong or you feel bad energy, all of that is based on that stomach. That's also solar plexus, okay? So I want you to realize these things that need to be worked on, as well as doing just your shadow work on rejection and maturity, okay? Sorry I had to bring this chakra out to you about this, but it is something that Spirit is wanting to bring along with the message, all right? So let's read in the book and see what the book states about rejection and maturing. I want to say we got this one before, okay? So that lets me know we still need work on it, okay? When we get the same messages over and over, close to each other, to the time period, I feel like that's Spirit letting us know that we still have work to do, okay? On this subject or on this chakra or on this situation. Or you may be having this going on now or in the future. So getting you ready, okay? So rejection and maturity. Rejection is something we all experience at certain times in our life, and it's a difficult feeling to deal with. It is, okay? It can cause tremendous amount of pain if we don't learn how to embrace it. And that's when that King of Cups in reverse energy kicks in, okay? Some of us feeling it now, okay? Spirit says, when getting rejected, it makes us feel inadequate, unwanted, and perhaps like we are a failure. It can cause us to fear feeling scared of moving forward and pursuing what we really want. A common response is getting defensive and trying to stand up for ourselves, finding an excuse, or even trying to hurt the ones that made us feel this way, okay? This is a vicious cycle, family, that only creates more pain and hurt for both yourself and others. So with this card, it challenges us to rise above yourself and your instinct, to push away the rejection and instead stand higher, knowing that rejection is not always a reflection of you as a person. But just because one thing didn't work out doesn't mean that the whole of you is wrong. Okay? Sometimes it's not you, family. Okay? You can find peace in maturing and knowing that rejection is only a push in a different direction from the time being. Maturing can help you calm yourself down before reacting. That's correct. So within that rejection, you actually going from being upset, but being able to control yourself, allowing your mental, your perception of the situation, staying calm and realizing that this thing is happening for a reason. That's maturity, family. That's growth spiritually. Okay? I just got chills. Can you look the other way and break free from the cycle and find peace on the other side? Is what Spirit wants you to ask yourself. Okay? Explore the rejections you've had and find within them what you're better off without. Okay, because maybe it's something you don't need to have in your life. Maybe it no longer serves you. Okay? You don't need to prove others wrong. You don't need to prove yourself worthy or better. Just know that you are enough, and this rejection will lead you in another direction, and that is okay. I love this card. I love this message. I love what Spirit is telling us, okay? So your affirmation needs to be, I am confident. Didn't I tell you that solar plexus is coming out? I am confident enough to handle rejection. I am confident enough to handle rejection. I am confident enough to handle rejection. I do not fear rejection. It will lead me in a better direction. I do not fear rejection. It will lead me in a better direction. I do not fear rejection. It will lead me in a better direction. And so it is, and it is so. And Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Thank you, ancestors, for the message through this. Now, today our exercise for this message, family, is use the latest rejection that you have had it happen in your life, experience as an example, and journal what happened, when it happened, how it happened, and how it made you feel. You know, what your response was, then answer what happened after. So pretty much give us the scenario by writing it out and putting it on paper so you can kind of look at it, look back at it, and see exactly how it made you feel. How would your life have been different had it not happened? And how is it different now because it did? Right? These are questions Spirit wants you to ask yourself. How is your life different now because it didn't happen? And how would it have been different if it did? Okay? Second question is, what are the great things you have experienced and now have because you were rejected? So how is that path of things happening for you now? And what can you say you're better off with, with what happened, right? And what was expected, right? So what are the great things you've experienced now that you have went through this rejection? All right. This can make you see that rejections are not always a good or bad thing. It just creates a new outcome. Okay. Because if some of you are having that self-doubt, and Spirit wants you to have hope, because remember that was also on the bottom of the deck. So some of us, because of this rejection, we have self-doubt in ourselves now, which will cause self-sabotage and so forth. Okay. So that's for key for someone out there. Now I'm going to just pull our message from these other two decks, and you can work on this, by yourself, okay? Because this is from the Shadow Work Oracle, and then I'll pull us one from the Inner Child, okay? So the first one from the Shadow Work Oracle, let me put this over here. Okay, let's get us a message out of the Shadow Work Oracle. What is it that as a collective we need to work on today, Spirit? You gave us a great message in the rejection and maturing. Okay, so we got two. We got two, okay? Here is arrogant. if you're insecure or fear rejection, we got rejection again. So the collective is going through some type of situation around rejection. Either you're fearing rejection, you're self-doubting, or either you've been rejected. So it says, if you're insecure or fear rejection, this behavior surfaces. Arrogancy, right? So work on accepting your true self and give yourself love as you are needing it. Being arrogant. Some of you are being arrogant as if, you know, oh, I don't need that, or whatever, I'm going to do better, da 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 da. Don't speak that negativity out of your mouth. Just humble yourself and understand that it's okay that you were rejected. It's okay. But there's no need to be arrogant. Just move a different way. It's going to move you in a different way anyway, okay? Be your true self. Don't try to switch it up. Prejudice. Some of you are being prejudiced or have prejudiced situations happening to you, okay, that you need to work on. Spirit said, what if you were categorized into a group or given attributes that were false without truly knowing who you are? Okay, so Spirit wants you to ask this question to yourself, okay, because some of you are being prejudiced in some way, okay? Screenshot it and really look at it. On the bottom of the deck is inconsistent. Think about if your thoughts, actions, and routines are inconsistent. Does it serve you well on a daily basis? That was on the bottom of the deck, inconsistency. Some of you are being inconsistent with what you want to happen in your life. And then when it doesn't happen, you're wondering why. It's because some of you are not consistent. But arrogance and prejudice came out for us. So someone is being arrogant and someone is dealing with some type of prejudice. It's a message, okay? Inner child message, Spirit. Inner child message for the collective, please. An inner child message for the collective. What is it that the collective needs to work on towards their inner child? Ooh. What is the message that the collective needs to work on towards their inner child? Ooh, Spirit. Okay. Spirit said everything. It's so many cards that flew out, y'all. Y'all should see all these cards on the desk. Lord have mercy. Spirit said everything. Y'all need to work on y'all inner child all the way around. Okay? That's what Spirit trying to tell you. Sorry, family. Hold on. Okay. And that was confirmation, too. Spirit said. Okay, so we got two. I'm going to take those because they flipped out, okay? So this one is the past. Some of you need to work on your past inner child. You were surrounded by people that yelled. Now you are aware that good communication doesn't involve yelling. Some of you need to work on that because it's caused you to be yelling at your children or yelling at others that love you when that's not a good way to communicate. And all of that has come from your inner child. What has happened in your past. People yelling at you or yelling in the home or yelling has been something that is stuck. And I know I have experienced that too. But I had to change my perception and to change and work on that inner child to now stay calm. Excuse me. Now, the second one we got, you felt anxious and unaware of what to do. Now you are more confident and with who you are and what you need to succeed. So this is the second inner child, okay, where you felt anxious and unwanted and you are unaware of what to do because of how you felt in the past, very anxious, okay? So I like these two. These are two that you need to reflect on. Take a screenshot. Two inner child energies that are here that tells you how you felt in the past and how you feel now or should. Okay, you may want to think about and reflect on those two. And then the other two we got was the arrogance and prejudice. So really look at those questions that are here. Screenshot them. And work on these and really look at if this plays a part in your life or if it plays a part of someone that's in your life, right? And then don't forget our main message of today was about reflection of rejection and maturing. Have you matured enough to actually handle a rejection that could be around your stability and security? Have you worked on that solar plexus in reference of your confidence, right? your self-worth, knowing your self-worth regardless of being rejected, and understand that your perception now should be maturing or be matured enough to understand that rejection is just protection to move you in a different direction. All right? So I love you guys. I hope that this really resonated and that it helped you in some type of way to ascend you, to tap into your higher self, to really do your shadow work, give you plenty of things to think about, work on, write down, and really sit with thyself and know thyself and learn thyself. Because one thing about it, family, knowledge, wisdom brings that understanding into play. Okay? All right, family, I leave you with this. Through the darkness to the light, ashe, 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 and it is what it is, okay? And it is all in these cards. It's all in these cards, family. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.
Gratitude for the sunshine. Gratitude for the moonlight. Every day feels like a new